The next concept is linear relationships. So if you go look at your formula chart, at the top it says linear equations, and then the first subcategory says slope-intercept form. And there you will see y equals mx plus b. So mx plus b, y equals mx plus b is our linear relationship. And just to kind of remind you guys, b is our y-intercept. So it's the value of y when x is 0. And it's where it goes through, the line goes through the y-axis, which is the up and down axis. Okay, and then we have m is our rate of change, which means change in y over change in x. We always find our rate of change from a table, and we work from the bottom towards the top of the table. And then, of course, we have our y is going to be our dependent variable. So that's usually the total, the cost. Okay. And then we have our independent variable. All right, so now that we looked at our equation, we can go ahead and look at our table. So here it says in this unit, representations have been given for equations in the form of y equals mx plus b. In the equation, it says b represents the initial value or the value of y when x is 0. Okay, so that's our y-intercept. The variable m represents a constant rate of change in the situation, or a description of the change in y values given that the x value changes. For each statement below in the table, identify the rational numbers that represent b and m, along with a brief description of what each variable represents in the situation. All right, so the first one is done for us, so let's take a look at that. It says Kelly made 48 cookies and she gave away 2 every hour. So our y-intercept, remember, is going to be our starting point. So she started with 48 cookies. That's how many she made. All right, and then our m is the constant. So she gave away, which makes it positive or negative. Are we adding to hers or taking away? So negative, and then it says 2 cookies every hour. So why don't we look at the next situation? It says Paul has $78 in his bank account and saves $30 each week. So his starting point is $78 in the bank. And then what changes at a constant rate is that he saves $30 each week. So $30 saved each week. Okay, next one. It has Julia is 60 inches tall. She grows half an inch every month. All right, so her starting point is that she is 60 inches tall. And then she grows half an inch each month. So are we adding to her height or taking away? Adding, right? And here before we were saving money, so we're adding money. Here we're adding half an inch each month. Okay, keep going. Next one says the food pantry began the week with 97 cans of food. So that's my starting point. So 97, oh, darn it, cans of food. Right, and then it says they collected an additional 50 cans per day. So we're adding or taking away? Right, we're adding 50 cans per day. Okay, the next one, it says the souvenir company made 1,200 souvenirs. So that's our starting point. 1,200 souvenirs. And then they sold 50 each day. So sold or taking away. So we're going to, subtract 50 each day. Last one here, it says 2 people started a music club that gained 10 new members each week. So what did the club start with? Right, the 2 members that started it. So 2 people started the club. And then it says it gained 10 new members each week. So plus 10 new members each week. Okay. All right, so let's look at these 2 examples down at the bottom. So the first one says, after jumping into the water to a depth of -5 feet below the surface, a deep sea diver continues to descend at a rate of 18 feet per minute. Which of the following equations can be used to determine the depth per minute? Okay, so we have the water. And it says he jumped down to a height of -5 feet below the surface. Okay? So here's this -5, here's the 0. And it says he descended. So we want to think about our words. Descend or ascend. So descend means it's like decrease. Okay? So it's like it's going down at a rate of 18 feet per minute. So if it's going down, is that positive or negative? Negative, so minus 18 feet per minute. Okay, so if we write an equation, darn it. Okay, we write an equation, so y equals mx plus b. We know that b is our starting point, so we started at -5. And m can be the change. So for every hour, they went down an additional 18 feet. So -18, y equals -18 minus 5. So with the -5, we can eliminate g and h. -18 gives us an answer of F. All right, let's look at the next problem. It says, which equation best represents the relationship between the independent and dependent variables in the quantity below? Okay, so they're wanting us to write an equation of y equals mx plus b. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and find M, right? M is my rate of change. Change in Y over change in X. Okay, so to find my changes, I'm always going to start at the end of the table and work forward. Okay, so 3 minus 2. Change means difference. You're going to subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 12 minus 9 is 3. So change in Y, 1. Change in X, 3. So I know that it has to be 1/3 X. Okay, so really it looks like I can eliminate all these, but let's double check. What about our B? Our B is our starting point. That's our y-intercept. It's the value of y when x is 0. Okay, so right now we see a y of 0. Don't let that confuse you. We're not looking for a y of 0. We're looking for an x of 0. So we have a constant rate of change, right? 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. 9 minus 6 is 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. So if I were to add a 0 in right here, how would I get from 3 to 0? Would I do 3 minus 3 is 0? Yes. So if there's a change up here of 3, what is the change down here? The change in y. If there's a change here in 3, there's a change of 1 here. So 0 minus 1 would give me the -1. Okay? So that's just if you are struggling. So you can find here that our answer is going to match letter A. All right? So now I'm going to show you the practice problems for today. Okay, guys, so these are the questions I expect you to get answered. Once you finish those, then you can go back to the review that we worked on yesterday and you can continue those problems.